Nammo Phat, good morning. Thank you for joining me for today's practice check-in for Friday, June 12th, 2020. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The fifth wonderful precept. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I vow to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I'm determined not to use alcohol or any other items that contain toxins, such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations. I'm aware that to damage my body or my consciousness with these poisons is to betray my ancestors, my parents, my society, and future generations. I will work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and the transformation of society. Today's reading from Ajahn Sucitto's Kamma and the End of Kamma is self-image and behavior. The catch is that often the issues of behavior are bound up with, and sometimes secondary to, the matter of self-image. There's a sense of self that's based on mirroring or clinging to the current mind state or program. Therefore, praise and blame, fame and ignominy, gain and loss, happiness, and get to define how a person senses themselves. And so motivation gets caught up in how we are esteemed according to popularity, financial or performance barometers. All kinds of instinctive and reactive programs get going around these issues. Sometimes we want to make more of ourselves and take over a situation. Sometimes the mind contracts into defense or self-pity, or there is doubt about what we should or shouldn't do about ourselves. Sometimes we want someone to believe in us, validate us, confirm that we have value, are enlightened, half enlightened, or getting there. The sense of self biases our behavior. This is because identifying comes out of the very basic and strong need to feel stable and solid. And when there is ignorance, we look for the stability in things that change. If we identify with being praised or esteemed, then something feels wrong if that changes. So that gives rise to uncertainty. And when we feel uncertain, we sense that this insecurity is an aspect of our identity. Obviously, no one wants an unpleasant state as an identity, so we try to get rid of it and find a place in our lives where we will be bright and confident instead. And so it goes, and on and on. It sounds reasonable enough, but the mind doesn't arrive at security through holding on to or reacting to mind states, because they pass through. Trying to be some permanent state or non-state only keeps us snagging on, quarreling with, or squinting into changing images, and all that just makes an introspection a restless and calculating process. Again, behavior rather than identity is the key. Mental kamma is important. In order not to cling, we have to relate to our stuff. We have to work on a regard that witnesses and emphasizes rather than fixates. And this means directly penetrating the unconscious pushes that underpin and formulate what we're experiencing right now. If we're wondering how long it's going to take to get enlightened, that's the push of worry or doubt. If illness is making it difficult to meditate, there's the potential to get pushed into dejection. So right now, practice has to involve bringing some warm and supportive intentions towards one's body and easing out of the demand to feel bright and vigorous. You can do a lot of good practice by letting go of the irritation over how it should be, or the anxiety over how it might be. That letting go is a vital action, and you back that up by expanding your awareness of the good intentions that you can and do sustain. In ways like this, you let go of forming narratives and pictures of self as failure, as victim, as monster, that your struggles bring up, and instead focus on where you're bright and strong. Through methods like this, you develop capacity, even if that is just the intention to be patient and maintain resolve over your ethical standards. That is a gain in mental capacity, and by coming out of habitual patterns and programs, you start to wake up from this view that clings and holds onto with what is passing through. And as you get some release from clinging, that helps you see the identification, and with it, your identity is a changeable process. Instability at that level isn't a weakness. It's a fact to be acknowledged. When this is understood and integrated, the view of letting go, the path to the deathless, arises. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu. 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 Thank you for joining me this morning.